Hello, everyone. So, today we are going to talk about something that really fucking pisses me off. Like, I absolutely hate this, and whenever I sense this trait in some person, I try to keep myself from away from them as much as possible. And that is the trait of a pessimist. Like, someone who's just inherently negative about everything. They just happen to have a negative opinion, or they see the negativity in everything, and they see everything ending in a negative outcome. And I absolutely hate that. Like, I believe it's good to be, slightly rational or more realistic and, list out the cons of something more than the pros, or focus on the negative aspects of it before you take a decision. It means you're trying to be more safe, more stable, or more, more secure about your decisions. And that's all right. But someone who's negative, someone who sees the bad in everything is really fucking annoying, because if you're going to have an opinion, let it be a positive one. Because if you have the choice to be positive or negative, you might as well have a positive one. Because, like I said, now these are two different topics entirely, but your thoughts are really related to your actions and the outcomes of your actions, right? So, if you have a positive thought process, the outcome and your actions also will be in a positive tone. But if you are negative about everything, the way you think about things, the way you think about the outcomes and your actions of it, if it's all negative, the outcome of it will more or less be negative, because you're working towards that direction, right? And negativity is something, or pessimism rather, is something we've seen since our childhood, right? Like, our moms will be like, get off there, you'll fall, don't do that. Or, if you get bad grades, like, your life is ruined, or something like that, like, just everything is said to us in a negative reinforcement kind of way, right? Don't do this, don't do that, this will happen, that will happen, something bad will happen out of that. And Nawal Ravikant put this in a beautiful way, right? He said humans are inherently pessimist because of evolution, right? The first person to walk into a cave saying, "Oh, we'll be fine. Let's just go and explore," was the person who was eaten by the lion. Was the first person who was killed. So that is why we have become accustomed to being negative as humans, right? We always tend to see the negativity in something before we analyze the positive outcomes or the positive possibilities in something, right? And I'm just saying, like, if you really think about it, right? Okay, forget about our evolution, forget about the outcomes of something, right? Let's take the stock market for example. Even to this day, when you talk about investing in the stock market in India, at least, I don't know about the rest of the world, right? In India, people will be like, "Oh, the stock market is risky. It's like a gamble. You lose all your money." But if you open up the charts and see the stock market, it's in an upward trend since inception, like since the beginning of the market. Yeah, there'll be small downtrends, small ones, but overall, year on year, it has been going up. Maybe 1 or 2 years in between, the year of the cold crash, or the 2008 finance crisis, or the year 2000 dot-com bubble burst. Those years, yeah, sure, it was a massive dip in the market. People did lose money, but if you see overall, it has been in a positive trend. But people ignore all of that, and they'll be like, "No, the stock market is risky, don't do that, don't do this." And even about the whole world in general, people have a very negative sentiment. Oh, like, housing's this, housing's that, the no housing available, there's a housing crisis. Politicians are fucking up the country and all that. Yeah, maybe the politicians are fucked, maybe the real estate prices are crazy high, but the roads are better than ever. Housing is more accessible than ever. Like, more people are in houses than homeless, right? So if you really see how everything's going on around us, we are on a positive trajectory than a negative one. People love being negative, like, "Oh, there are no jobs now, and everything is so expensive and all that." But technology is getting cheaper. Technology is like developing at such a pace that it's actually becoming more accessible to everyone, and is actually becoming cheaper, and is developing at a faster pace than ever. So if you have to have an opinion, let it be a positive one. Stop being so negative. Try to see the good in things. Try to be a little more positive, and stop being a pessimist.